which will be, Ms. Klein has recused herself, and so Sabette Stroman is an alternate who was appointed at the last meeting and will continue on as appointed as a voting member. We have Jody Persons, Sarah Silk Clerk, Kate McMahon, voting member. Chuck Sumner is an alternate. He's just sitting in this evening. And myself, I'm a voting member. So this continued hearing is case number 08 AAD AAD 24 tax map 21711 71 North Main Street, appeal of administrative decision under 676.5 of the issuance and approval of a building permit number 2023000993 for the construction of a single-family dwelling. And the appeal is from Diane Bainton, relevant to, Sarah, you want to read that? That's the appeal relevant to those issues.
Basis for appeal is listed by article and section of the Wolfeboro Planning and Zoning Ordinance, Article 14, Section 175-92.1, parking. Article 14, Section 175-129, issuance of permits. Article 14, Section 175-131, off-street parking space design and layout. Article 14, Section 175-136, off-street parking requirements. Article 17, definitions and word usage, occupancy, permitted use, principal use. Article 18, administration and enforcement, Section 175-182, zoning administrator, B, duties. 1, the zoning administrator, his, her assistant, or designee shall A, accept applications and ensure the appropriateness and completeness. G, take the most conservative or restrictive approach in applying or interpreting, those regulations.
Thank you. I'd like it noted for the record that we did have our meeting with our council, and it's a non-meeting, whereas the public, there's no minutes or report on such a meeting. And I would like to make a motion that the emails and advice we have received remain confidential until and if and when the board takes a vote to release such. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Sabette, second. Any discussion on the motion?
Repeat the motion again. Will you repeat the motion?
That the advice we got from council will remain confidential.
Oh, sure, yes.
All those in favor, roll call vote.
Yes.
Jody? Sarah?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Suzanne, yes. Okay. Late in the day, this afternoon, the board received some more information of photographs and information. I'm not sure just what we've got. Do we have copies of, I know I can't say his name, Mr. Somebody say it. Chris. We have photographs of what he sent, so I could describe that, please. Thank you. Okay. The planning office received email May 9th with follow-up information as to what they claim was posted. There was a professional business sign with a photograph of the proposed property. I don't know if anyone can see that. And then on the back was a picture of the 2 building permits that were posted on, they say, on the back side of that sign. You got this in the mail.
I'd like to see it again.
Suzanne, was there a date attached?
I can't hear you. You got to use your microphone.
Was there a date attached to when those building permits were posted? I don't see it on my photo. Was a date referenced?
There's no date on the photo.
Okay.
And we assume it was on the back of the sign. It just shows them taped on something that's black.
And the other pictures that we got today were from Ms. Klein describing 2 pictures that show no building or raised permit posted on the site as of the dates of these pictures.
It's about this picture is showing a white back of the sign has the date on the top, March
I'm
19th.
assuming the black part is
Have you
what-
seen these? You want a copy?
I mean, I'm assuming the black part underneath it is kind of similar to what he's showing us on his picture. That's the orange permit up against a black background?
You can keep that. It's extra.
No?
No.
No idea. I have a black and white photo. I don't have a color one.
Well, I'm not going to debate the credibility of one over the other. I just want to make a record of it in our minutes, and these pictures will be in the file. So I'm just taking them at face value for what they say. So tonight we're going to focus on jurisdiction, our rules of procedure, Roman numeral 10, number 1, the 30-day time frame, and the rules of procedure, and the jurisdiction RSA 676.5. And I think one thing that I found of interest was the evolution of the law. And back in 1957, the ZBA case of Somersworth speaks to a situation similar to this. But over the years, in 1991 and 2005, those cases have taken on a different tone, a different change in requirements from rules of procedure, and different case laws, one overrules the other. And so here we are in 2024, and what we have to determine is, do we have the authority to take jurisdiction, or do we not, given what our rules of procedure say and what our rules of procedure don't say? So I think I would like to open up some discussion on that. Kate, you got something you want to say? Pull that close to you.
I do. Can you hear me all right now? Yeah? Okay. I'd like to, I don't think the rules posted on the website are in dispute, the 30-day period of appeal. But I think that the rule is based on the understanding that a decision has been promulgated as is the case with appeals that might come from denying a building permit. Those appeals require a hearing and relevant parties are notified. Posting the permits after the 30-day appeal period basically eliminates any potential appeal, and it violates the point and the spirit of our rule. It's the posting of the permit that's untimely, not the appeal. The remedy is to begin counting the 30 days from the visible posting of the permit at the property. That date needs to be identified and confirmed. The requirement to post a permit serves as potential notice to abutters and neighbors that construction has been approved. Absent that, there's nothing to appeal. There cannot be an appeals period when permits are not posted in a timely manner.
You done?
Yeah, I think so, for now. Thanks.
Sarah?
Just adding something to what she said, just for consideration here. Our building permit does say at the top, display this permit in a conspicuous location, large letters, and at the bottom it said, this permit must be posted in a visible location and the street number must be exhibited for emergency purposes, blah, blah, blah. And so one can't help but wonder why someone thought that the backside of a sign was visible to people that would be walking by, driving by, whatever. That's my comment.
Anybody else?
Excuse me, I'll jump in here. My thoughts on it are, there's nothing, I think that, people got to look at this situation and how this goes, and maybe some changes need to be made on the, building permits themselves when they actually have to go up. It's my understanding that I thought I read somewhere, but I could be wrong, that it needs to be posted when the work is being done. So I could be wrong on that. So, I think it was posted. Obviously, we all know that nothing happened on the property for the 30-day appeal period. And then after the 30-day appeal period, the fence, the permits went up. Supposedly, I didn't see them personally myself, but then they went up and the building was demolished and construction began and the permits were posted then. So it comes down to that, I think, on this. That's all I wanted to say.
Sabette, you want to weigh in?
Well, I think the issue is bigger than just the building permit and when the appeal process begins, because if the requirements were met on the building permit, my understanding is we had no parking plan. A parking plan was required, correct? And a drainage plan, am I wrong or right? That should have been submitted with the building. For the building permit to be issued, those two things should have been submitted, correct?
Well, I'm sorry, you're asking me a question?
Yeah, or I'm asking anybody on the board. I want to make sure I'm right.
No.
I don't want to talk to
No.
Tavis. I'm talking to,
Well-
my understanding is what we don't have, the information that was not submitted as part of the building permit, which is part of why we are here as part of the administrative appeal, is because the execution of the building permit was not done correctly. There was no parking plan, and there are no drainage requirements. And I guess what I would say, and this may be speaking a little bit out of bounds here, but I usually do that anyway, is that no matter which way this case goes, my hope is that, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name either, but that these are your neighbors that have come forth, and in the spirit of being a good neighbor, no matter which way this falls, there have been so many drainage issues below you, and if you could work with your neighbors, that would probably be a really great step forward.
Okay, everybody's had a little bit of something to say. The building permit was approved on 1/29/24. The application came in on, I believe it was March 21. No matter how you mathematically do it, it was late. From my point of view, as one voting member, I feel the planning process and system has failed. It's failed the applicant, it's failed the builder, and it's failed us by putting us here where we are tonight, in the middle of something that shouldn't have happened. It didn't need to happen. And I don't know why it happened, but it did. So we're at the point now, I'll go back to what I said at the first meeting, is that whichever way you vote tonight on jurisdiction and whether or not to hold a hearing on the merits of the case, someone's going to appeal. It's not going to go away. There'll be an appeal on one side or the other. So if that helps ease your mind at all. Have we had enough discussion? I'm not going into the merits of the case. Have we had enough discussion on jurisdiction, rules of procedure, the process?
I'd like to add one thing, Suzanne. When you said the mathematics, no matter how you work it, January 29th to 3/21 is late. I think that absent a known appeal period, the rule is irrelevant because there's nothing to appeal to. If no one knows that there's a building permit other than the town planner and the building inspector and somebody who might have a hobby of going in and reading building permits in their spare time, how would anybody know? So the rule, the 30-day rule is irrelevant unless you start counting from the time when somebody had the potential to know, like the posting of the building permit, which I understand was well after the 30-day appeal period, so-called appeal period. If you don't have an appeal period, there's nothing to, if you don't know about, there's nothing to appeal.
Sabat?
And I would add to that that the process that an application for a building permit goes through is absolutely archaic. And shame on the town of Wolfeboro for not updating it. I don't remember if it was this case or another case where someone called the planning office and they were told no permit is in the works. I think it might have been this one. I might be wrong. And the response to that was, well, we get a permit and it has to go to fire and it has to go to police and it has to go to all these different departments, and until it's done, it's not done. Well, heck, we have computers. The process would be so easy to fix. We get a permit, and it says, permit submitted. And then on the computer, check, this is where it is, this is where it is, this is where it is. So we no longer have issues with someone calling to inquire, is there a building permit in process? And they are told either no or I don't know. This is an easy fix. And I'm not a techie.
That's not what we're here for tonight, is to fix it,
but
but I agree with you.
goes hand in hand with the issues about when it's posted and the 30-day appeal. Because if people had, what Kate was talking about was access to the information. That is another means of access to the information that people should have, in fairness to everyone, so that a builder is not caught in the middle of something late, and that residents or abutters.
I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing, but I'm saying that we can't fix that tonight.
Well, I don't think it's our job to fix it, period, but if we never speak up about it, it'll never get done.
May I weigh in with something really short on that? I don't think that coming up with a list and having it in the planning office once a month is adequate because, like Sabette says, today's computers, if somebody comes in and they go through the process, everything's checked off, and it's in the computer, it's on the town website, anybody can look at it anytime, night or day. They don't have to be dependent on when someone is in the office. They don't have to be dependent on, well, we're waiting for the fire department to send something back and whatnot. And then they don't have to worry about someone perhaps not posting a building permit in a visible location or at all. And I think that it's a point well taken that in this day and age, when information can be instantaneous, that we should aspire for that.
One line in the bottom of the building permit could resolve it to say that it must be posted upon receipt, not 30 days after you receive it.
Well,
At any rate.
Those are two different
At any
things.
rate, we're not,
Yeah, I think we're going into those are two different things. I think.
Yeah, that's
That's
planning
different.
board, that's not us. I mean,
So here we are. We're going to have to be making a decision. Has everybody weighed in on what they feel about this whole situation? Okay, I think so. I'm going to make a motion for discussion to deny a hearing on case 08 AAD 24 T tax map 217-11, 71 North Main, appeal from administrative decision regarding issuance of a building permit number 2023-00093, and not take jurisdiction as the application was untimely. Second for discussion.
I'll second it for discussion. I think that there is validity to the fact that we don't have jurisdiction, and I think it's a tragedy that we have no avenue available at this time to address some of these various issues that have come up as to why an abutter did not know sooner. And I will listen to my compatriots over here that say it's not our job to fix this, but I think it is our job to let someone know that it needs to be fixed. When we have rules of procedure that haven't been properly annotated for a number of years or properly filed with the the town clerk, that becomes inexcusable in my way of thinking.
Any other discussion on the motion? Do you want me to state the motion
Yes.
again?
You don't need to state it again for me. I would say that it's the posting permit that's untimely, not the appeal. The posting eliminates, as it does, the untimeliness of the posting eliminates any chance for an appeal.
I agree with you. The problem is, with our rules of procedure, we don't have a waiver provision that allows us to waive that 30-day.
Well, and I would like Wolfeboro residents to know that at one point, apparently in 2013, we did have a waiver. And so I may be repeating what you said, but at one point we did have a waiver. Something got lost in translation. The waiver was dropped. We could not find any record of any conscious decision to ever drop the waiver. But then what was posted on the website did not include the waiver. And so I do feel that we need to abide by what was posted on the website, but we will, I think we as a board have said we are going to very quickly fix that problem within our rules of procedure.
You're correct. We did have a waiver in 2013. And then 2016, you can't really make heads nor tails. 2019, the current rules of procedure we have, I can't find a vote of approval for the amendments.
Right. I mean, it could be
They're
a
not-
clerical
they're-
error
they're-
that nobody caught.
They're not recorded with the town clerk. They're not signed, the copies that I have that I got from the office are not signed by the chairman. So, as I said, this process has failed. It failed you, the builder, it failed you, the applicant, and it failed us, and it failed the town. However, the law is the law, the rule is the rule, and our rules of procedure. I would like nothing more than to vote against my own amendment, but I have to vote in the affirmative, so I'm going to call for a vote. Roll call.
Well, I vote that we do not take jurisdiction and abide by our rules of procedure.
Jody?
Yep. Yes, same thing. Yep.
Yes. No
No.
jurisdiction.
Yes, Suzanne. So now I have another
What was
order of
Kate's
business.
I didn't hear
I
Kate's
didn't hear
vote.
The motion
but-
the motion
no.
passed.
I did not hear Kate's vote.
I
She said
voted-
no.
I voted no.
The motion passed 4-1. But for housekeeping here, the board's written decision will be available within 5 business days from tonight, May 20th, 24. There is a 30-day appeal period. From this decision, any party to this case or any person directly affected by this decision may apply to the board for a rehearing within that time period pursuant to RSA 6772. If the board denies that motion, that person has 30 days from the denial to appeal to the Superior Court or the Housing Appeals Board. So that concludes, and I will make a motion to close the hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Yes. Other housekeeping, I'd like to approve the minutes of May 6th, 2024, so they'll be on record. Half of that set of minutes is relevant to this case. I'd like them to be official. Do I have a second for approval of the minutes of May 6th?
Yes.
All in favor? Aye.
All right.
Okay, motion to adjourn. Do I have a
No,
second?
Madam Chair, we need to vote for chair, vice chair, and whatnot. It's been neglected for 2 months now.
You did ask for that on the agenda.
We did, and it's not there.
Please put it on the next agenda. That would be June.
Third.
We can't do it if it's not on the agenda?
Sure you can.
Of
What?
course we can.
Could we do it even, I mean, Audrey's here, Audrey could come
Audrey would
join
have
us at
to
this point, right?
Join.
I want to keep it clean. I don't want to
Okay.
mix it up.
All right.
Make a motion to adjourn at 7:30. I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, too.